The wait is finally over. As of January 29, 2026, the Ton has officially returned for Season 4, and while the drama is scandalous, the interiors are the real love story. But something has changed. We have moved beyond just the pristine ballrooms of the first season into something richer and far more attainable for a modern home. This isn't about turning your house into a museum. It is about capturing that Regency core magic, the opulence, the texture, and the romance, and making it livable for 2026. Whether you crave the dark vibes of Benedict's new bachelor lodgings or the classic pastel elegance of the Bridgerton family drawing room, we are breaking down exactly how to steal these looks right now. For years, the Bridgerton look meant candy-colored pastels and pristine white moldings. Production designer Will Hughes-Jones has steered the aesthetic toward what designers are calling Poetcore, a lived-in, intellectual style that mirrors Benedict Bridgerton's artistic journey. This evolution is perfect for real homes because it forgives a little mess. Instead of looking like a flawless wedding cake, the new style embraces shadow, depth, and character. Think of it as the difference between a formal ballroom and a private study. We are seeing a shift away from flat perfection towards spaces that feel collected over time. It is still Regency, but it's Regency with a history, allowing you to mix antique finds with modern comfort, without feeling like you are living on a film set. If you want to nail the 2026 aesthetic, you need to rethink your paint chart. While Bridgerton Blue remains a staple, the new season creates drama with deeper contrasts. We are seeing charcoal greys, oxblood reds, and forest greens, particularly in the spaces influenced by the Cowper household and Benedict's cottage. For a modern application, look at colors like Benjamin Moore's Ewing Blue for that classic touch, or Valspar's Purple Earth for the new, moody vibe. The trick is saturation, because these are not shy colors. When you paint a room, avoid just doing an accent wall. The Regency look demands commitment, so paint all 4 walls. If you are feeling bold, drench the ceiling and trim in the same shade for that enveloping jewel box effect that screams luxury. Nothing says aristocrat quite like architectural molding, and fortunately, this is the easiest DIY way to fake expensive bones in a plain, boxy room. You do not need a contractor for this. The look is called picture frame molding or wainscoting. In the show, this detail breaks up large walls and frames the characters like portraits. To do this at home, you need simple pine molding from a hardware store, a level, and a brad nailer. The golden rule for 2026 is scale. Avoid using tiny, thin strips on a massive wall. Go for molding that is at least 2 inches wide. Create large, symmetrical rectangles, either a single large box or a chair rail split with a smaller box below and a larger one above. Once painted the same color as the wall, it adds instant historical gravity. If molding feels too labor-intensive, wallpaper is your instant ticket to the ton. The show relies heavily on damask and chinoiserie, which features elaborate garden scenes and birds. In 2026, searches for damask wallpaper spiked 400% after the Season 4 trailer dropped, because it adds texture that paint simply cannot match. For a modern home, avoid the stiff, repeating patterns that look like a doctor's office. Instead, choose large-scale murals or toile patterns that tell a story. A peel-and-stick chinoiserie panel behind your bed or in a powder room can mimic the hand-painted silk walls of the Bridgerton drawing room for a fraction of the cost. It is about creating a backdrop that feels expensive, even if it is just paper. Lighting in Bridgerton is a character of its own. In a world before electricity, everything was lit by candle or fire, creating a soft and flattering glow that we all want to replicate. The centerpiece is inevitably the crystal chandelier. You do not need a ballroom-sized fixture, but you do need sparkle. Look for fixtures with glass droplets or crystals that catch the light. The secret to the modern adaptation is dimmer switches. You cannot achieve a Regency vibe with harsh, cool white LED bulbs blasting at full brightness. Swap your bulbs for warm white and install dimmers. Add wall sconces at eye level to mimic candlelight. If hardwiring isn't an option, use the puck light hack by gluing a battery-operated remote light inside a vintage sconce. It gives you that soft, romantic wash of light without calling an electrician. Regency furniture has a very specific profile. Unlike the heavy, chunky styles of the Victorian era that followed, Regency pieces are light, elegant, and often inspired by Greek or Roman history. When shopping, look for saber legs on chairs that curve outwards like a curved sword. You also want to spot lyre backs on wooden chairs shaped like the musical instrument. The most important lesson from the set design is the layout. Furniture in the show is never pushed against the walls. It is grouped in the center of the room to encourage conversation. Pull your sofa away from the wall, place 2 armchairs opposite it, and anchor the whole arrangement with a low table. This floating layout instantly makes a modern living room feel grander and more social, just like a drawing room before a ball. Minimalism has no power here. The Bridgerton aesthetic is tactile, meaning you should want to touch everything. In Season 4, with the shift toward moodier interiors, velvet has become the star player. It absorbs light and adds deep, rich color that flat cotton just cannot achieve. Drape a heavy velvet throw over your sofa, or swap your linen cushion covers for silk or brocade. Window treatments are another area where you must go big. Skimpy blinds will not suffice. You want floor-to-ceiling curtains, ideally puddled slightly on the floor for that look of excess. If you cannot afford custom heavy drapes, buy 2 packs of standard curtains for each side of the window. Doubling the volume creates that lush, gathered fullness that signals wealth, even if you bought them on sale. The standout location of 2026 is Benedict Bridgerton's country retreat. My Cottage. This space offers a completely different vibe for those who find pastels too sweet. This is the dark academic or Poetcore look. It focuses on dark woods, like mahogany and walnut, rather than painted finishes. To get this look, you want pieces that feel old and perhaps a bit messy. A vintage wooden desk, cluttered with sketches, worn leather armchairs, and stacked books everywhere, create a masculine, earthy counterpoint to the London drawing rooms. Search for barley twist legs on tables or dark oak sideboards. The key here is imperfection. While the London houses are pristine, the cottage style allows for chipped paint, tarnished brass, and a sense that a real artist actually lives there. The bedroom is where the Bridgerton fantasy hits its peak. The focal point of every major bedroom scene is the bed itself, specifically the height. You might not have a four-poster bed, but you can fake the grandeur of a canopy. Mounting a simple coronet or a curved curtain rod on the wall above your headboard allows you to drape fabric down the sides of the bed, creating that cocooning, intimate feel. Stick to the softer side of the palette here with dusty pinks, sage greens, or creams. Bedding should be layered with a quilt, a duvet, and at least 2 rows of pillows. It is about softness. In 2026, we are also seeing the return of the bedskirt, or valance, hiding the ugly metal legs of modern bed frames with pleated linen to maintain the period illusion. In the show, the entryway is where letters are delivered and scandals are whispered, while in your home, it sets the tone. You do not need a grand staircase to make a statement. A console table with curved legs is your anchor. Above it, place a large mirror with a gilded gold frame. Mirrors were essential in the Regency era to reflect candlelight and make spaces feel larger, and they do the same for your hallway. Flank the mirror with 2 tall lamps or sconces. The detail that really sells it is fresh flowers. A large central arrangement, even if it is just good quality faux hydrangeas or wisteria stems, signals that you have entered a space of care and elegance. It is a low-effort styling trick that pays huge dividends in atmosphere. The best news about the Bridgerton aesthetic is that nobody wants brown furniture right now, which means you can get it for pennies. While mid-century modern prices are skyrocketing, beautiful 19th century or early 20th century mahogany pieces are sitting in thrift stores and on Facebook Marketplace for bargain prices. Look for wood with a red or orange undertone, like cherry or mahogany, rather than blonde oak. Do not worry if the finish is scratched, as that adds to the Benedict cottage vibe. If a piece feels too heavy or dark, you can update it with gold wax on the hardware. Swapping out boring wooden knobs for brass handles is a 10-minute upgrade that instantly makes a cheap dresser look like a family heirloom. You might be eating takeout, but you can eat it like a viscount. The dining scenes in the show are defined by symmetry and abundance. The table is never bare. Even when not in use, a Regency table often has a centerpiece, such as a bowl of fruit, a tureen, or candlesticks. For the 2026 adaptation, mix and match your china. You do not need a perfect 12-piece antique set. Scour charity shops for blue and white transferware plates because they are classic, cheap, and fit the theme perfectly. Layer them over a simple white tablecloth. Avoid saving the good stuff for Christmas. Using a silver tray or a crystal glass on a Tuesday night is the ultimate luxury. It changes the way you behave in your own home, bringing a bit of that high society posture to your daily routine. The danger with Regencycore is that your house starts looking like a grandmother's parlor. To keep it fresh and 2026 appropriate, you must mix eras. If you have a heavy antique wooden desk, pair it with a modern ghost acrylic chair or a sleek contemporary lamp. If you have intense floral wallpaper, Keep your bedding crisp, white, and simple. This contrast creates tension and keeps the space feeling young. The show itself does this because the colors they use are often brighter and more synthetic than actual historical paints. You should take the same liberty. Avoid being a slave to historical accuracy. If you love a neon pink sign, put it on your damask wallpaper. That clash is what makes it your home instead of a film set. We cannot talk about this show without talking about flowers. The Bridgerton house is practically consumed by wisteria. While you probably cannot cover your rental apartment's facade in vines, you can bring the botanical element inside. The 2026 trend is wild floral arrangements that look scooped up from a garden rather than bought at a grocery store. Avoid stiff, tight bouquets of roses. Go for height and asymmetry. Branches, greenery, and trailing ivy are your friends. If you have a balcony or porch, a potted wisteria or jasmine plant connects the outdoors to your interior. Botanical prints are another way to layer this in, and a gallery wall of framed vintage flower illustrations adds that scientific, scholarly interest that aligns perfectly with the new season's intellectual themes. The devil is in the details. What makes the sets feel real are the small personal items scattered about. A letter opener, a wax seal stamp, a porcelain teacup, or a quill pen act as props that function as decor. In 2026, we are seeing a resurgence of analog hobbies like writing letters, reading physical books, and embroidery. Displaying the tools of these hobbies creates instant decor. Put your books in stacks instead of just rows. Leave a beautiful notebook open on a side table. It implies a life of leisure and cultivation. These small touches cost almost nothing, but sell the fantasy completely. It tells guests that you do not just watch the show, you live the lifestyle, even if just for a quiet hour on a Sunday afternoon. Adopting the Bridgerton style is not about copy a set design pixel for pixel. It is about embracing the Bridgerton style, embracing a philosophy that your home should be a place of drama, romance, and beauty. Whether you lean into the pristine pastels of the debutante or the moody, ink-stained woods of the artist, the goal is to create a space that feels like the main character lives there. So go ahead, paint that wall dark blue, buy the velvet cushions, and light the candles on a Tuesday. If you want more guides on transforming your space with cinema-level design tricks, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.